Matt Arndt. Back page.
I really just care about the ring more than anything.
Les Bailey. Jared. Shane Blattler. Dave Brown.
Oh, I gotta read.
Collateral damage.
Take that out of my check. Here, I got it.
Oh, jeez, they're flying everywhere. Shane Blattler. Did I already say that? I already said that. Ben Charles. I am. Ben Charles. Kristen Cole. Van Corbin. Holy moly.
Here, Dan, let me pull that stuff off the top of my
I got a little typo on a commission check, and I went to sign it and said 104,000. Allison goes, no, that's 10,000.
Oh, that's funny. Kevin Cross, Mary Jo, Rondé, handful of times. Brent Lamont, I don't see him, I saw him earlier. Matt Dimmick a couple of times, Drew Dreyer. Ed Erickson.
And Rana, ladies and gentlemen.
Jonna, Christina Gamis, Betty Kupinski, Kelly Harris, Quay Dave, Carl Hines, Vicky Hudson, Sean Huffstetler, Tim Kelly, Christina Leach. There she is.
Oh, wow.
So fast with it.
Like that. Yeah, it was like that.
Kyber Lucas, Brian Lucas, Amy a couple of times, Justin McGee a couple of times, Reed Moore a handful of times, Green Mirror. Oh, she didn't get it. He's on a diet.
Green's on a diet.
Debbie Muma, Holly Meyer, Stephen Ollendorf, Yet Owen, Alyssa Perrin.
Amy,
yeah.
First one, right?
Yep.
First deal.
Amy Peltier, Carrie Perkins, Clinton Peterson, Chris Rakoff, Janelle Roberts, Jonathan Rodriguez, Anna Schulman, Jacob Seabree.
Jacob's here.
Jen.
Dan did not have his back.
Jen Shostren, Stuart Smith, Elizabeth Spikes, Jennifer Salta, Chrissy Tanner, Ryan Thompson, Jason Trout, Kristen Van Wee.
With a new car.
Nice.
We're on a roll this morning.
Dan Wolf. Chrissine Gamis. That's what you get for walking in late. Watch yourself. That's all we got.
Just in case, because I know people are going to walk in late. Nate Barrow will come in late. Which doesn't get me.
No,
he's got open.
He's got open.
He's got his brokers open. Yeah, you guys got some flyers on your chairs for some broker opens and things like that. Want to talk to you. Pretty excited. We had a conference call yesterday with Joe and myself and Chris McNamara, our bold coach for the fourth quarter. He has now changed Allison's name to Rockstar MCA.
That's the only way he
yeah. He won't call her Allison. He just says, so Joe, Jen, and Rockstar MCA. That's her name. So we're super excited. We've got, oh yeah. No, he's going with the Alaska man look.
He's been out of the cabin too much.
It's more like the...
I
didn't want Rhonda to say what she was thinking.
So we have an Eventbrite link that we're going to be putting out. It's almost ready to go that Chris is putting up for us. And basically what that will do is we'll blast it out over Facebook. We'll send it out to you guys over email. We'll put it on the Daily Digest. You can go on there. The first step, remember, is free. And so we can go on there and you can register for that. We are super excited about having this in the fourth quarter. We think it's going to totally be a game changer for the first quarter of next year. We haven't identified a location yet, still working on that. But make note of this. I told you last week, Tuesday, well, we have a change in the schedule. It will be...
Yeah, we didn't know.
Okay, I thought that must have been after that. Wednesdays is the day for bold. So it'll be Wednesdays, and the first one is October
2nd, 3rd, 4th, whatever that is.
October 3rd, I believe. Let me look at my calendar.
I think it's
I'll make sure that we have the right one. Hello, July Leslie. That will be, sorry, in the way. October 3rd. And then it'll run, you know, for the next 8 weeks after that.
Yep.
Do we have a break like we did last time, or is it?
Yeah, the first week, there'll be a break after the first week, and then it'll go
Yep, and then the next week.
What time do we do?
It's
All day.
Starts at, usually we'll start, don't quote me on this, but it'll usually start at 8:30 and be done by 3 or 3:30.
It's good. I feel better now.
Day investment for 8 weeks.
Did you have a
What's that?
comment?
It's a little longer than 3.
Oh, I was just gonna say it's kind of cool because it falls on Halloween and Chris McNamara's birthday.
Yes, we get Halloween, so I'm sure we're gonna have some fun with that. One day of gold, that it'll be Halloween day. And one day will be Chris's birthday, and you know we love a good party here, so anytime we can find one to throw, we will. So definitely get that on your calendar. Remember, August 30th, E-Edge training all day with Beth Torrance here. This is definitely something, send your team to, send your executive assistant to, be at yourself. She is fantastic. She's going to do a great job. We're super excited about bringing her in for you guys. The Market Center has decided that this is such a worthwhile investment. We're not charging for the class, even though we've got to bring her up and put her up in a hotel and everything. We want you guys utilizing E-Edge at a high level. Invite your friends, bring people that are at other brokerages. They need to understand that we are so far ahead on the technology side of things. This is what they're missing if they're not here. So it's definitely worth bringing some people to. What else in the training calendar, Jobel?
Nothing.
Nothing
Took
at all.
everything away.
Took it all
Yeah,
away.
we have listing objections tomorrow with Lance at 1 o'clock here in this room. Okay, prime time. Actually, what was really cool is last week we had a pricing class, and we had a few other folks from other brokerages come over specifically for that class. So it was really cool to see. So listing objections, everybody wants to know them, so be here so you can go over if it applies to you, obviously. Lance, he basically goes, so what do you want me to specifically talk about? Because, I mean, this is just what I do every day. And I go, well, make sure you hit this one, make sure you hit on commission. He's like, oh, those are scripts? Because it's just in my vocabulary anymore. So he's going to do a really good job, and I would definitely encourage you to be there.
Hi, Abigail. Okay, so today is profit share day.
Oh,
So if you haven't checked your bank account yet, if you received profit share, it should be there. So we're going to go through and
Are we clapping or
recognize one clap if they're not here, 2 if they're here,
Cool.
only 2. Nani
Only 2.
Palmer got $2.
woo!
Saber Garrity is here, 7.
Yeah!
That's coffee.
2 claps.
That's 2 coffees.
2 claps.
Thank you.
I'm going to be the clap now.
Brianna Tollison, $13. Ron Day, $17. Brad Cole, $22. Les Bailey, $31. Deanne Owen, $34. Nick, we don't laugh here. Please don't laugh.
There's
You're
no
not allowed to
fun.
laugh or have fun in this office, ever. Let's just stop that right now. Nate Bear, $35.
Okay, hold on, time out. So we talked about Nate a few months ago with his profit share, right? You got $700 or $800 somewhere around in there,
Yeah.
right? And now he got $34 this month, right? You see how it fluctuates, right? So you could have a really good month, and then you could have something one month. It's just a matter of continually to build that profit share tree.
Yeah, exactly. Jeannie Erickson, $37. Steve Day, $37. Amy McNew-Hornack, $38. His second profit share check ever, Joe Bell, $54.
Mama's gonna love that. That's like a new pair of shoes for her.
On sale.
That's actually half. It's wonderful.
I don't know, half yearly sale.
Kylie Lucas, $57. Connie Clan, $69. Ryan Tollison, $73. Caroline Stroiano in Eagle River, $98. Justin McGee, $110. Brian Sherburn, $112. Rodney Clan, $120. Butch Jakes, $125.
Only 2.
We're limited to 2, so it doesn't cover my trip. Kristen Cole, $126. Brandy Kroom, $130. Patrick James, $136.
Yeah, got it.
Nailed it. Ed Walden, $139. Carla Lucas, $163. Bob Bolding, $169. Fred Owen, $179. Charlie Ellis, $183. Denny Wood, where'd he go? There you are, right there in front of me, 199. Vicki Hudson, 218 on her birthday. Was that last week?
Oh, nice.
Amy Peltier, 223. Abigail Owens, 230.
Whoa! Yeah, buddy.
That's parachute.
Yeah.
Jennifer Stalka, 235. With one person in her profit share trade.
Wow.
And that's her third check this year. Bob King, 251. Lindsay Holland, 258. Cara Reed, 266. Terry Lee out in the valley, 269. Mark Mandigo, 352.
Wow.
Kevin Cross, 434. Larry Malden, 434. Mr. Wolf, 441.
Hey.
Melissa Frenzel.
Is it Larry Malden?
Yes, tomorrow. Tomorrow's Larry's birthday. Melissa Frenzel, 483. Chad Crew, 529.
Wow.
Mr. Schwartz, 541.
Hey, Schwartz.
That's Simpson, 557. Back to the Wolf family, 582 for Christy. That's a few pairs of shoes.
Yeah, that's a couple.
I'm pretty
Some
excited
Jimmy
about
shoes.
this one. This is, I think, her second profit share check ever. Felisa, $600.
Hey, buddy.
Yay!
That's awesome.
This is my second one. It is, right? It's your second one, and that's $600 is real money.
$600.
I've had commission checks less than that, Rod.
That is a fly rod. I love your style.
I was so excited to give you that one. I couldn't wait. I can't believe that. Reed Moore, 673. Jen Toomer, 711.
7-Eleven, jackpot!
Honestly,
Bingo!
I'm kidding.
Jackpot!
I put it on Facebook this morning. It really seriously is school supplies and school clothes for 3 kids, so that was awesome.
I saw that.
You freed up my budget.
Couple surgeries though, right?
Hey, Value Village is on. I'm a girl on a budget, let me tell you. Dar Walden, 722. Kathleen Poulin, 761. Ed Erickson, 776. Dave Poulin, 958. Nancy Dimmick, 1388. And Matt Dimmick, 22.8. Nice. Well, we put an extra 0. It's not good. 22.85. So Matt has profit shared over $13,000, just him, this year so far. So he pays less than a half cap to work here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
A half cap is 10.5. He's already gotten back more than that in profit share. So kind of a good deal. Kind of like it.
You'll take it.
Exactly.
That's cool.
So we are one of the things that I have become really passionate about in the team leader role, and I share this with you guys again. Why do I share what happens to the Market Center? Because it's just a bigger picture of what you do every day in your real estate business, right? We teach you guys leverage, and we try and practice it and model it as well. And one of the great things that we have here is we have this incredible executive leadership team. I have this amazing, I was bragging on it this morning to our accountability group, assistant team leader who's just, I mean, how many appointments did you have this week?
8 or 9.
9 recruiting appointments this week. I mean, he's just cranking it out. We have,
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
Well, here, let me, I just want to hit on something real quick. Here's what's really cool. So for those of you that don't know, we started up something that's called Griten Careers. And it's a posting tool. So we're on Monster, we're on Craigslist, we're on a number of different sites. And what it allows us to do is have leads come in off of those sites. I get an opportunity to meet with these folks, and then if they end up signing up with KW, what we've decided to do is to help our some of our staff be able to take part in profit share. So a Selena and a Jamie and a Allison, right? And a Casey, a Quincy.
we have a rock star.
So what's really cool
Allison.
is we get to be able to help grow their profit share trees through what we're doing through the Market Center. It's really cool.
Come on in.
It's something that's very unique. There's no room. Sorry.
So we have Joe, we're going to have, here comes the judge here in a minute with broker Butch. So we've got an amazing broker who handles issues adeptly. It's just amazing to me how much comes across his desk every day. The bigger we get, the bigger his job gets. And he takes care of those things. We have Casey. And then we have what I like to call the linchpin. And that is our Miss Allison, our MCA. Now, this woman is unbelievable. I mean, what she does for you guys, I know you all know it, and I know you all get it. So tomorrow is her birthday. However, we didn't have a team meeting scheduled for tomorrow, and I would be a horrible, lousy, awful team leader if I didn't let you guys have the opportunity to tell her happy birthday as a collective group. So I had to make up a lie this morning. I'm just confessing now. Selena texted me, we can't get out of here. Allison's here. We got to go pick up the cake. What do we do? And I'm like, okay, tell him you got to go take my kid to practice or something. I don't know. Lie. Just lie. So we have gotten a cake and we've got some balloons, and we wanted to take the opportunity to, in our most beautiful, well, Dave, Mormon Tabernacle Choir, Barbershop Quartet, song person that you are, could you lead us in Happy Birthday? And direct us as you
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Allison. Happy birthday to you.
You can water it with its own
That's
taste.
for everybody. Thank you.
This is why I don't do details. I don't think I have anything to light the cake or have candles. So we have a cake out there for you guys afterwards.
Well, at a certain age, you gotta quit putting
Well,
candles.
that's
We
true.
figured that out.
That's true. That's
She's only 29.
Fire department or something.
Yeah, we know what sets off the fire alarms. We've done that before, so we won't go there again. Seriously, we just appreciate you so much. I know personally, I appreciate you so much, and I can speak for our whole staff as well. Yeah, Matt. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I appreciate it.
I know you do. Thank you. So tomorrow's the official day, so you can all, shower her with love tomorrow, but we wanted to do something today in our team meeting. And mainly just because I like an excuse to have a cake. That's just really what it comes down to. So he's changing. Would you see if Broker Bunch is ready, possibly?
Is he wearing his monkey suit?
Well, we just have to get his stamp face on. So what we've done is we've got, the reason I put these two together, because I knew you'd all show up for Allison. You guys, risk management is so critical. And it sounds really boring when we talk about it like from a risk management perspective. And yet, what we're finding is because the market has shifted, a lot of you guys are facing issues that maybe you haven't been trained on because the market was different. So I have, I'm not even going to try and fake it. I planted questions in the audience. These are from very specific real-life scenarios that come across Butch's desk. So Butch and I met yesterday. We went over some of the different issues that he's got, that he's facing. We don't want to just make up questions. We want to have, what's really happening in your business right now. So we've got some questions for him that we're going to ask. I have a feeling even if you think you know the answer, you're probably going to learn something as well. So if we could bring to the podium, Broker Bunch.
Broker Butch.
We're ready. Promise share date and this.
If you guys are really good, he may release the hair tie. You can see what a Judge Mullet looks like. Pretty impressive. Okay, so I think we have some questions for you, Broker Butch. Would someone ask their question for us, please?
When representing a buyer and we find out we are in multiple offers, what is the best way to handle this?
Okay. First of all, you need to see just how committed your buyer really is.
And if the buyer really, really wants the place, and you're submitting an offer with an escalation clause, which means that, say, for instance, you'll pay $1,000 more than any other verifiable offer, you should also put in there that the buyer agrees to make up any difference between the appraisal and the purchase price in cash at closing, if your buyer is able to.
Can you talk a little bit more about that and why that's important?
What we're seeing happen now is we're having a lot of multiple offer situations, and people are getting $12,000, $15,000, $20,000 more than list price, and it doesn't appraise. So deal creators and the seller is left in the lurch, and the buyer doesn't get the house. Okay, you guys all get that?
Yes, but how do you, what do you put in there, that if it doesn't appraise, that?
Then the buyer agrees to make up the difference in cash at closing. Okay, if the buyer is that committed to purchasing the house. All right, I mean, maybe it's a smoking deal, maybe it's priced 20 grand lower than it should be.
Is it true, though, a lot of agents, maybe more experienced agents, would use that fact that it had to appraise to get rid of the competition? And so this making the difference up in cash is kind of a fairly recent addition to that. But before, you could offer $20,000 more, knowing that the offer was subject to the home appreciating or appraising for the sales price.
Yeah, if you're the listing agent, you're doing a disservice to your client if you accept that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Who's next?
What steps should I take to stay within the law when showing my listings to a sign call buyer?
A sign call.
Sign call? You're gonna meet them at the house,
Make them
I'm
sign
assuming,
it.
right? Is that what you're doing? Bring an AREC with you and get it signed on the hood of the car? And then when they say, well, no one else has ever made me do this before, you say, well, they're breaking Alaska law. And you point to the part where it's big bold letters and says, this is not a contract.
Well, what do you do if they don't sign anyway?
Well,
You don't show them.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
Get
get
back in your car. Actually, that's kind of funny, because I just started showing properties again.
That is funny.
Out of the last 4 or 5 people that I've showed have all said that they haven't been presented with that yet, and I'm just like, I'm amazed.
so do you ask them, do you say, they weren't Keller Williams agents, were they?
Better way to
I
say
just
is,
assumed our
they
guys
must
are.
work for.
But I think that's kind of interesting that people aren't presenting that AREC, and I hope none of our people are.
And people, this is not a gray area. You're absolutely breaking the law if you don't do it. So,
And you will lose your license.
yeah.
It's not just your own listing, any listing.
Any
You want to
listing,
show them anything.
and the thing is, it would not be beyond the real estate commission to be having plants out there.
And I did have a guy actually did want to sign it, and I said, well, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be able to show you the property. And he wasn't very happy, but you know, this is the way it is, it's a law. It's not a like, do you want to or do you feel like it today? It's a law if you want to keep it real.
Did he sign a buyer's rep after that?
There's a script
I think
for
he did come
that.
back.
Good, Dave.
I think you're within the realm of law if you write down on there that you did explain to him and the buyer refused to sign and sign yourself. I've heard that. I don't know if that's true, but I've
It doesn't
done that
matter, you don't
in
show
the
them
past.
the
Have
property.
them sign the
I
bond
wouldn't take the chance.
after writing. Refuse to sign.
At that point, Dave, I'd really question whether you even want to work with the guy.
Exactly.
Well, what's
They
gonna
wanna
happen?
buy the
I
house,
would
you
say
not
to the
wanna
letter of
work
the law, you are not within the law if you do that.
Pardon me?
You are not within the law if you do that. That's the type of thing where if you emailed that to the real estate commission, I am positive they would say, no, that is not legal.
If you're showing your own property, do you need to disclose that and have a waiver available?
Your own
Same
personal property or your listing?
Well, it depends what your AREC is with on the listing. You might have the listing and be just neutral or specific assistance. You're not necessarily representing the seller only, even if it's your listing.
Hey, Butch, may I have that with? If you're showing your own property, when do you have to disclose a conflict of interest? As soon as you know about it, verbally, follow the system thereafter on the form.
You're talking about your personal property?
Your personal property, yeah. That's what you're talking about.
That was
No, no,
Talking about his own
no,
listing.
a listing.
You have your own personal property, you have to do that also.
Sure.
And I know that if you're showing someone something, they need to have them send an AREC. What if you're showing it to them for another agent? What if another agent says, hey, I just can't get out there, can you show this to my buyer? If they have an AREC, did you?
You know what I would do is I'd have both names on it. Okay, next question. Who has next?
How about this? How about this?
Just
If
put
there's,
specific assistance and just write on next to it saying showing only or something like
If you're showing it for another agent?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What exactly, you showed a property for me the other day. Lindsay, what did you do?
Oh, I thought I was representing the buyer because I figured, usually I wouldn't do it this way, but I figured after showing them the properties, I would have the heavy-side buyers rep. So usually it'd be before, like if I met them at the building, at the office, yeah, but I knew they really were anxious to see that house, so.
Anything else?
I just want to say something. A couple of years ago, the real estate commission actually sent some people from real estate commission to call agents and have them show them properties. And it was, thank God that everybody did sign the ARAC before they let them in the house. So that's possible that you're meeting with somebody from the real estate
Plants.
Okay, everyone gets this? One. You're
Yes, sir. You're contempt. You're representing, or you have a listing, and you have a buyer who's also interested in your listing, and he wants to put in an offer at the same time that another offer comes from another licensee.
That's on one of our questions.
What's the best way to handle that?
Okay.
Go ahead and read that.
Well, and that's kind of a
If you're gonna ask a
deviation of
question,
the
Mark, ask it
yeah.
right.
No, that's a great question, and it's something we've been dealing with a lot.
As a neutral licensee.
Yeah. The way, I think the easiest, cleanest, best way to handle that, where nobody feels like they're getting shafted on this, is you just tell everybody involved that they need to get their best offer to you by a certain time that makes sense for everybody, you know, sometime in the future, 12 hours from then, 24 hours from then, whatever it is. We've had a couple, we had that one where one of the parties felt like they were not given an opportunity to improve their offer, and the other party was. They actually were given the opportunity, but they didn't recognize it as such. It may not have been explained to them, they didn't understand it, whatever. And yeah, it could have gotten incredibly nasty. Especially because if I remember correctly, one of the parties was an attorney. She was going.
They always are.
Yeah.
They always are.
So that's, I mean, in my opinion, and I'm willing to hear what anyone else has to say, but I think that's just the best and cleanest way to do it. Instead of countering one, countering another, and that kind of thing, just tell everybody.
And something to that, I would notify them, I would notify all licensees, both verbally and in writing. And if you really want to cover your bases, now this doesn't apply to what you said, which is, what if I'm bringing an offer as well? But assuming that's not the case, I would actually go, just cover your bases. I would CC on the email each licensee that's writing a notification, you know, bring your highest and best offer by noon tomorrow. That way they see, A, you're not yanking their chain and thinking that there's other offers. They know who's out there, they know the landscape, and everybody has an equal, fair shot at the property.
I was just gonna ask, you know, what's a good way to, maybe if you're not comfortable, I have the buyer, somebody else is writing an offer, I'm writing an offer with the buyer, and I'm listing the home. You know, what would be customary to maybe grab somebody else and say, you know what, can you represent this piece for me as we go through this? And
you can certainly do that. I don't think it's necessary.
okay.
Can they take the extra step of maybe saying all offers are submitted in a sealed envelope to the broker?
That's what I usually ask them.
Just to cover, you know, to put some distance between it?
You can, you know, that used to be fairly common. I really don't think it's necessary, but there's certainly not a problem doing that. Go ahead, Christine.
What I've done, if I'm a listing and I have a buyer that wants to write an offer, plus another offer or two coming in, I send out an email to everybody letting them know best offer to be presented by daytime. And then I'll ask another realtor to present all offers, because I don't want to see what the competing offers are since I have a buyer. And I just have the other realtor present.
Just present, that's a good.
Yeah. I had one a while back with Jamie Harvey, and my seller was actually in the hospital, and I had a buyer, and he had a buyer, so we actually met at the hospital to present, and we showed each other our offers ahead of time. And mine was $500 better, so it was nice because we knew up front going in what the offers were.
I think that's probably, I can see where that could work depending on the other players in the field.
Yeah.
You know, Jamie Harvey, solid stand-up, awesome, good guy. I would have no problem walking into that situation with him. There are other people I would not be comfortable doing that with.
You have to realize.
Just as long as everybody knows what the rules are and everybody's on a level playing field. Okay, next question.